action to King Ryan Garcia. Not just beating Devin the Dream Haney, but I mean, he kicked his behind, bro. Like he pretty he put a beat down pretty bad on him, man. This is one of those beat downs that rank up there in that, I know my boy J Box don't like talking about the Spence Crawford one, but I ain't gonna lie. This one took me by surprise that it was that bad of a beating, boy. He beat him down, but
hey, he petty. He petty, ain't it, bro?
Hey.
Oh no, I don't mind talking about the Spence thing. It's just for me, it's like I won't watch it because I know what happened. So for all you people saying, but one of my homeboys texted me said, "Man,
he petty.
You ain't no boxing fan."
I call him petty. He petty. He petty. Hey, what does the shirt say? Petty Monet? What that say?
Yeah, for it.
Petty Monet. Yeah, petty.
But in all,
go ahead, get into it, man. J Box. Now I will say this: J Box felt this coming. He one of the ones who felt this coming. So Jay, go ahead and speak on why you felt Ryan was gonna end up demolishing the boy like this, demolishing him.
Hey, I'm gonna call my method of calling fights the proposition, man. It was the Linares proposition, man. What if somebody was younger, just as strong, compromised Haney in that way? Mm-hmm. We saw what I thought would happen happened. But I think if we go back before when we first ranked, quote unquote, the new four horsemen, this is kind of who we were talking. We thought this is who Devin Haney was, right? Especially coming off that Gamboa fight where Gamboa had been down 10 times in his last 9 fights. And one of the reasons why I saw it coming is having questions about your chin and your power is never good. It's a terrible combination. And so I will say that maybe I didn't give Haney enough credit with his power. I don't think he still has much, but Ryan did mention that one like big punch he landed. I think
he clipped him.
Yeah, it did affect Ryan. So, and Ryan was a little shocked by that because I guess he had been fighting him and knowing, this guy doesn't have much pop. So, but honestly, it reminded me so much of the Berto Victor Ortiz fight in the sense that if you go back and look, JD, you and I were talking about this last night. If you look at Victor Ortiz, looked huge coming in that ring. He looked huge coming in that ring against Berto, and what you saw was and to the same kind of scenario. We had just came off a fight where I think it was 2 fights ago where people were questioning Victor Ortiz because he had just quit in a fight. He just quit, and there people a lot of people were talking about Ryan Garcia quit against Tank, and we were even talking about it. So it just had so many kind of similarities where I was thinking like there's going to be multiple knockdowns. I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan won by majority decision or UD because of that fact. Now, I'm not going to lie and say after the first round when he clipped him that I wasn't like, okay, this is turning into Mayweather Mosley now because Devin looked like he back locked in. But at any point in time, man, when you don't got a chin and there's a guy that's dangerous and athletic and young, like I said again, that Linares proposition, what happens when he gets you compromised multiple times? Because that was the thing about the Linares fight. I was like, if Linares was younger and strong, he's not just going to pop you once. He's going to hurt you again. And the question becomes, how do you react then? We saw what happened.
Q, what you got on it, man? Tell me how you felt witnessing what transpired last night.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I said, when Brother J Box gave his analysis last time, I said, man, I was on the fence myself, and I felt like Ryan. I think I even said 55% Ryan, 45 Haney, just because of the same factors of Ryan being bigger. Probably, I say he might have a slight edge in speed advantage, but definitely power. The power he possessed, and he probably got longer reach. And this is something we talk about Mayweather, we talk about Mosley, we talk about a lot of fighters. But one thing Mayweather didn't do, he wasn't gonna give a fighter. You might have 1 out of the 3. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's quick as Mayweather. They're not gonna be, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna have speed, reach, and power over Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? And youth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I really can't think of a lot of fighters that, and then some fighters like Antonio Margarito, you know, it aged well because Margarito was popping dirty, but tall, rangy, power with a good chin, and gonna come at you like a zombie. It's certain things he wasn't really gonna put himself positions he wasn't gonna put himself into in the matchmaking, and let alone let you come in overweight. That wasn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I give Haney a lot of credit, man. And I mean, and some of it wasn't smart, you know. But like, you know, just to even, because he could have not fought. But this guy come in overweight. It could have, you know. But the bag, you know how that bag talk. You know what I'm saying? And you know now they talking about a broke jaw. You know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff. He done. I just hope that he took a lot of damage, and I hope it's he comes back and could be the same after that, because he took a licking. In the first round, I thought the fight. I said, man, this man, when he got clipped with that hook, I thought the fight was gonna be over in the first round. I said, wow. I said, man, look at this. But then, the second or the third, when he caught Ryan well, first he like, I see what you're saying about the Mayweather effect, because he bounced back and he balanced the first, like the way he ended that first round.
He won the next three. He won about the next three rounds.
He won the next three, and I think he clipped him with that hook. Or whatever it was, he clipped me with a left, clipped Ryan, and that was a big highlight for me, because I'm like, okay, he got his attention, and Ryan gonna respect that, because we saw the look in Ryan's face, you know. So I was like, okay, and it was a part. I had the text already set up, man. I'm so glad I didn't hit send. Cause I was about to say, man, Devin finna walk the dog on this boy. He finna school him the rest of the night. Y'all watch. I hadn't got confident. Before I could get it, he hit him with one of them first, because you know he was fighting in slurries, and he hit him with one of them quick slurs, a 3-point combo or something, and got him again. I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And I was just glad I didn't hit send, but that happened a lot. I don't say nothing, you know what I'm saying? And I get pumped up, but you know, remember it's 12 rounds, and you know, I'm not surprised at all, man. I just saw something about LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah,
y'all said something about
stupid.
Now, to the world that don't really watch boxing, that's on a casual level, where you don't even do the matchmaking and do the science. Y'all need to stay out of casinos betting. Why would, if this is correct? You know what I'm saying? I even had to repost it, because it was that silly to me. If this is real, you bet.
No, he posted up the bet. The other slides, he posted up what he actually lost. It's real.
So he bet $250,000 to win $25,000. That is goofy. And he definitely don't know anything about these two fighters. That's crazy. No disrespect, McCoy. You know, you are
no, and better yet, he needs an odds class. He should know that you don't do that.
I mean, why would you even do that? $250,000 to win? Come on, Carl. Like, you gonna bet 10 to win 1, you gonna risk 10. That's crazy.
You could have bet 2,500 to win 25 if you really.
I was gonna bet the other way. Remember we talked about this on the last joint,
right?
Man, I like, man, if I was in Vegas, we gonna have to drop something, because even though I see how Haney could have won the decision, I felt like Haney was gonna go down. I didn't know it was gonna go down, you know. And he showed a lot of grit. He showed a lot. But listen, just by the habits, man, please. Yeah, but that's you know, I wasn't surprised, man. I wasn't surprised. I was thoroughly entertained. It was a very entertaining fight, and you know, I don't know. What's your take, JD?
Hey, dog, my take is, man, I gotta tilt my cap to Ryan Garcia, bro. This is one of the best finesse jobs I've ever seen in the sport of boxing, man. And he absolutely duped Bill and Devin on this one, but there is still an element where it's two sides to it, because to J-Box's point, they were overconfident too, though. They were way overconfident. But where they duped them, where Ryan pulled a smooth move and duped them, is he really sold them on the idea and the public that he was really going for that 140-pound strap and was really gonna try to make weight. When really, all along, all along, because let's rewind it back.
Even making the bet.
Right. Even making the bet.
No, shaking on him.
Right. Yeah. So we rewind all back, and if Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia both come to the table, and Ryan says, we'll do the fight, but it has to be at 144. Dev says, nah, bruh. Nah, cuz we're not making that. He says straight up, Devin does not do that fight if they go to the table from the genesis of all this and say, let's do it at 144. So he clearly went to the table after the Duarte fight and told them, I promise y'all, I'm going to really make weight. So then he sells them on the fact, right, on my mama, I'm going to make weight. So he tells them that, but then here's where he really tricked them and he duped them. We got to give Ryan credit. He's the one who sold the fight. The truth of the matter is, Ryan's antics is he's the one who sold the fight. So I duped you into the contract, but then I sold the fight so well, I sold it so good that when we get to 48 hours before the fight, I reveal to y'all that bro, this really is a catchweight fight. But really I sold the fight. Money? Exactly. I sold the fight so well now that you, Bill and Dev, y'all aren't going to walk away from all these M's on the table now because y'all see how well I sold the fight. I was on social media every day. I was acting crazy. I was doing all these things. Are y'all really going to walk away from this money? And so at the end of the day, like you said, Q, and he even betting at the betting $500K a pound at the press conference. So he pulled out every move knowing that he ain't give a dang about that belt. And then in the post-fight press conference, he essentially ends up telling everybody, I don't fight at 140. I'm not going back to 140. So you're not going to get me at 140. You got to end up, for you to get your get back, you would have to end up facing me at 144 or 145 catch weight or catch me at welterweight. So not only did I dupe y'all, I beat you, and now you're not going to get fair get back at 140 because I'm not going back down there. So you got to come chase me. So in my estimation, dog, this is bravo,
no doubt,
to Ryan Garcia and how he played this. And it's so interesting because we've seen Bill Haney. A lot of people have commended Bill Haney for how greatly he's navigated Devin Haney's career. But boy, oh boy, did they really underestimate Ryan in this one. And they got suckered in. I mean, I got to give Ryan credit. He pulled them in. He promoted the fight, and they couldn't walk away from it, man.
And he gave himself an unfair, man. Just on a competitive level, man. He gave it because Devin was professional. I'm gonna say this now because this matters. Devin had to drain himself down to 140. Because Devin's a big boy too. Devin,
remember I told you how he was sucking in at the weigh-in.
Right, because and I couldn't help but think this, and I started because repost this and add my own. Because when he was like, I did everything. He was like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I was drinking every night, and I did this, and I still beat him, and I did this, and I still beat him, and I did this, and I still beat him. And I was like, yeah, you cheated the weight. You know what I'm saying? Which gave you an unfair advantage. You know what I'm saying? But he does. He get because if Devin could have came in at 143, and I ain't saying Devin would have won the fight. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it would have been more of an even playing field. That's all I'm saying. Because I feel like what's that?
I think when you get that outsmarted, I don't feel sorry for you. So
right.
Here's my thing, right?
I mean, when you get that much, man, listen, these boys ain't finna get paid. So
big
I don't, I just pray that he not compromised in other ways from this.
And that's something that I mentioned to JD about. I had two words for him, Devin Alexander. And the reason why I say that, how highly he was touted, how young he was when he was winning and doing his thing, and then he ran into Tim Bradley and moved up to 147, and he's forgotten about. And I was predicting a precipitous fall just like that, because the one thing that I can say I've never seen, and this is when I brought up the Spence fight, I said you know, I was talking to JD about it, and I was like, I've never heard of a fighter getting knocked down and beaten up that much and coming back the same or better. Devin Haney's not going to be the same. He's not. He's not going to be the same caliber of fighter. He's not going to get the same effort from opponents he would. People are going to jump on him now. The cat's out the bag. I might not be able to outbox you, but if I jump on you, I know you'll break. And you may not break in your heart.
They could be mistaken though.
No.
Everybody don't have what Ryan had.
But what I'm saying is the cat's out. People know how to beat Haney now, right? Because we've seen these lapses against Jojo Diaz. We've seen these lapses. Even when he fought Gamboa, the reason why he didn't mix it up with Gamboa is because we're starting to see his defense is not what we think it is. His defense is distance. And so the other point that I want to bring about defense is I think they got outsmarted on every level. I don't think Derek James hated that shoulder roll. That looked practice. Practice. And I kept saying this reeked of Mayweather. Everybody overlooked him getting together with Mayweather and like, oh, okay, you get counsel. But I want y'all to go back to that Ricky Hatton fight. Mayweather did the same exact thing. Bent over, showed Ricky Hatton his back. He was getting frustrated. Ricky Hatton was like, what you want me to do? And the next thing you know, he kissing the belt buckle and then kissing the canvas. So it's one of those things where it's like, it was, the popular line in training days, chess is not checkers. But the thing I love, and I think it's more apropos to this, you've been planning this all day? I've been planning this all week, son. They were planning this from the point they inked the deal. And the big thing about it is, number one, you got a Devin Haney, who I don't think will return from this in the same capacity, number one. Then two, you got a situation where now you're at the mercy of Ryan Garcia, because even though Tank beat him, he has the clout now because of how he promoted that fight. There's not a fighter in the game that can promote like him and can win. And what I said to JD was the other day, I'm like, I really don't have a favorite fighter out there, because one of the things I think that gravitated us all to Manny Pacquiao was we don't think he can do it, or can he do it? And you had those questions, and he gives you those amazing moments. There hasn't been a fighter like that to come around in recent history. And sure enough, Ryan Garcia comes when everybody's counting him out and puts on a spectacular performance. And so on all around levels, it showed every face of boxing, the gamesmanship, the excitement, the overconfidence, because, bro, these fighters are going to learn. Tim Tszyu learned this the hard way. Anthony Joshua learned this the hard way. Bro, treat yourself like this is going to be your off night. And that's what Mayweather did. And I think I kept saying this reeked of Mayweather because Mayweather never left anything to chance.
Hey, what I'll say too, what I'll say about that, when I first saw the shoulder roll, the whole Philly shell with him turning around, at first it looked awkward at first, but when he kept doing it, I'm not gonna lie, man, I really sat there and I was like, I put in my mind, what would the most elite fighters do in this scenario? And Bud Crawford, Canelo, all of those elite fighters would have adjusted. They would have stepped around and they would have made him come up out of that shell. And Devin Haney never made that adjustment. So to your point, that was absolutely planned. That was for sure planned. And they were playing it like they weren't going to do that. And we clearly could tell that was an adjustment. And like when we spoke about before, I got to give Derek James credit. And I got to give Derek James credit because that shoulder roll is now stopping Ryan Garcia from doing the pullback, which was his problem in previous fights. We would see Ryan Garcia always pull straight back and get clipped. But now he simply just turns and rolls, and now that keeps him from doing that straight pullback, which now puts him in a better position. So, Devin Haney, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Devin Haney also got outboxed. He got outboxed. You know what I mean? He got out schemed, and Bill Haney and them didn't even really have an adjustment for it.
I'm not gonna say he got outboxed. I'm not gonna say that. And the reason I'm not gonna say he got outboxed is, but I really don't think that was really. I think that was something that, like, say, he did it in the Ike Quartet. Whatever. What was the fight, Ryan?
Duarte.
I think that's a habit that he resorted to just as the fight went on. I don't really think that was, and the reason I say that because Devin Haney couldn't hurt him. Because one thing about it, Devin Haney got free body shots all night when he did that. Somebody that's a puncher, you're not gonna let them hit you you're not gonna get hit like that in the body for free. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna leave yourself open that long. You know what I'm saying? So he just let him sting him, just his mosquito bite him right there in the back, and then he turned around and chopped him with an overhand right. You know what I'm saying? And that seems like he sat there and built power and turned around and whop and chopped him. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like I don't feel like you would let somebody get free that had some thud. I don't think you do that. You know what I'm saying?
But he would have came out of that if Devin would have stepped around though. He would have came out of it though.
I agree. But why would Devin step around him if he getting open punches?
Because those were illegal shots. For the same reason why Mayweather
they wasn't illegal.
No, you can't.
He turned in his body if he could. He didn't.
You still can't hit anybody in the back, and the ref said it because when he went over to the corner, he said,
"Did they ever take a point?
Hey, huh?
Did they ever take a point?
No. And that's another thing we got to discuss too. The ref illegal.
No.
The ref said it. The ref said it when he went back to the corner. Bill Haney complained like, "Hey, he's turning his back." He said he still can't hit him. He still can't throw a legal shot. So those were illegal shots. And I'm glad you brought that up because around the 7th round, there was some shady reffing going on. Yeah. Because as I understand knockdowns, can't nothing keep you up. You have to be keeping you up. So in that round where they took a point from Ryan and didn't even warn him, there were plenty of times when Devin Haney was actually hitting him in the back on purpose. And then he could have got a point deducted, but they take a point from Ryan in the heat of battle. On top of that, there was 2 other knockdowns in that round. And the ref kept waving it off like this. There was one other one for sure. And you could argue the last one was a push down, but clearly everybody, your job as a boxer is to stay on your feet. You're not going down unless you're compromised in some kind of way. If somebody's forcing you down or you're wobbled from a punch, which all constitutes a knockdown if you fall because of a punch. So I'm not going to lean on the ref and say the ref allowed it to happen. The ref didn't do his best job that night, but he clearly told Bill Haney when they were complaining, yeah, he's turning his back, but he still can't hit him illegally. And I'm telling everybody who's watched this video, go back and watch Ricky Hatton versus Mayweather. The same thing happened. And the ref went to him and told Hatton, hey, you can't hit him in the back. And the ref was like, what do you want me to do? And then y'all remember the iconic part where Ricky Hatton bent over to kind of mock Mayweather. And he was so stupid not to realize you're getting set up, buddy. Because this same thing happened with Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez said, I'm going to step around and pop that head up because, bah! And it stopped him. So for me, he was hitting with illegal shots and he couldn't figure out how to get legal shots in, which is why in the one round you did see him kind of adjust and pop him up. But Ryan was giving him his back because at the very least, if he would have got dropped with a kidney shot to the back, that would have been a point taken, or it should have been a point taken.
No, I'll tell you one thing, man. In that 7th round, bro, Harvey Doc, I ain't gonna lie, man. That point he took from Ryan, that seemed like there was some payola going on. Now, Harvey Doc is typically a pretty good referee, but when he took that point, I was like, okay, all right, that's shiesty right there, bro. That's shiesty right there.
No warning,
no warning, no nothing. Takes the point. That was absolutely shiesty, and it seemed like the fix was a little bit in where they were really trying to give Dev every opportunity in the world to get that victory, which if there hadn't been probably the other knockdowns, it probably would have edged to Dev because you still had one referee give the fight for Devin Haney.
Yeah, so one judge. So
I mean, at the end of the day, that was real shiesty. But I will say, man, what we really got to talk about, man. So now they're saying that Ryan Garcia with this fight is now one of the money men of boxing, face of boxing. He's only 25 years old. All right. So y'all tell me, because what's interesting about this is that y'all correct me if I'm wrong on this, but we got Ryan Garcia, who's one of the top fighters in boxing as far as money is concerned, but I don't think he's ever been a world champion at any weight class. Has he ever been a world champion at any weight class?
No.
And this man has gotten to, yeah, so he's gotten to the point where he is the undeniable, at least American money man. Because I'm gonna say it's right now, even as much as I like Tank Davis, I feel like this fight right here, from a money standpoint, yeah, I feel like he truly is right. Q. He is the golden boy now for real, especially as far as American fighters are concerned. So y'all tell me, is this good? I mean, you got a fighter who never won a world title. He never won a world title, bro. And he's the golden boy now.
He's the golden boy on bath salt.
Hey, listen,
for real.
Hey, I'm gonna say it's good for boxing, and I like it because so many times we see things like what's going on with Bud Crawford, and Fundora, sanctioned bodies threatening belts, you know, and demanding money.
You don't need a belt.
They got their guy. I think when you don't need a belt, I think that's when you have the most excitement in boxing, because when you X out the sanctioning bodies, I think you can then go make fights that people want to see if the fighter has that mentality. You know what I'm saying? Where you can actually, like, you're not dictated by what the sanctioning bodies want. You don't have to go, because look at Teofimo Lopez trying to keep all his straps against Kambosos. Nobody really cared about that Kambosos fight, but we got a hell of a fight and a hell of an upset. And so I think when you're in Ryan's position, I keep saying, man, even we can all attest to this. I was a bigger Pacquiao fan than I was a Mayweather fan, and I'll always be that way. But you can't deny Mayweather's fingerprints on the game. And that's one of the things I brought up when we were talking about it after the weigh-in. Like, if you look at how he railed against the belts and was and sanctioning bodies, was like, yo, y'all ain't got to be a part of this. I'm bigger than the belt. And even when we were talking to the IBO president, he was talking about the IBO allows fighters to become a champion, and then on top of becoming a champion, once they get that name, you know, you can build your name off that. But once you build your name, you don't need the belts. You don't. And so with that being said, man, I see a rematch with Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis later down the line, and it's going to be for a huge bag.
But you think, bro, you think Tank would really allow him to be that big? Because I don't think that we'll see that. I predict we don't see that rematch, only because with Ryan feeling like he's the money man, I just don't see Tank going up in weight to take on a huge Ryan.
Let me give you this scenario.
Yeah, that'd probably be
in about 4 or 5 years, once the Sharks have fully left the 147, and by Sharks I mean Crawford and Boots, and you got a well-adjusted Ryan into 147, and making a bigger name for himself after he's putting on spectacular performance for fighting these catch weights, and you got Tank keeping doing what he's doing. Tank is going to be comfortable at 147 at this point, and people are going to be calling for it with the success that Ryan's going to have in the future. The money's going to be too big. And I think at this point, if you get an older Tank comfortable at 147, heavier, I think the 147, the size advantage won't be as great, because I think Ryan will still be having to squeeze down to 147 in 5 years. The same way he has to squeeze down to 140 and can't make it, I think it won't be the easiest thing for him to make 147 in about 4 or 5 years. And I think, because Ryan's even mentioned himself, he said at the end of his career, he wants to run it back with Tank. And so it says to me, man, people don't say things all willy-nilly, man. I think there's a plan at this point. And I think we see that.
I will say this, though. I will say to your point, if Tank really sees himself as an all-time great, you know, because we saw Pacquiao do this for years, where even though we all knew that, you know, he fought at welterweight at 147, man, Pacquiao will weigh in at damn 145. All right, and it's a straight-up welterweight fight. You know what I mean? So I feel you on that.
He fought at middleweight when he fought. Remember, he fought Tony Margarita. He was 144, and that was at 150 catch weight. 144. Yeah. He didn't even make 147.
So let me ask y'all this.
Crazy fight.
I wondered about this. Do y'all see a path back for Devin Haney? Like a realistic, like for him to be where he was in the game.
Well, here's the thing. To be where he was in the game, I'm gonna say no, not where he was prior to this fight.
Because it was undisputed at 135.
Right. I don't see that path, but I see a path where he can become champion again and be a viable fighter. I do see where with Devin Haney, I don't like him at 147 right now at all. Because if you start letting Devin the Dream Haney face off against these bigger fighters like a Ryan Garcia who's going to come in 160, 165, I don't think that does well for Haney in the long run. So I think right now, if you're Bill Haney, you got to go back to 140. I mean, everybody's debating back and forth. We haven't gotten a firm word yet from Mauricio Suleiman. Eddie Hearn and them, and some of them are saying he still is the champ at 140. Some people are saying that it's vacated, but maybe Mauricio Suleiman will come out this week and confirm whether he's still champ, even though Ryan Garcia didn't make the weight. But I think you go back to 140, and in my opinion, I still like to see a Devin the Dream Haney versus Shakur Stevenson, a fighter where that would be a massive payday for both of them. And I don't know that from either of them, you really got to worry about Ryan Garcia punching power. I mean, like you really don't have to worry about that. I think from Shakur or Dev in that fight at 140. So I still think there's a way for him to get to the top.
It might be the one fight where Devin Haney has the power edge.
I don't know.
Right.
That'll be interesting.
You think the way back?
That'll be interesting. But I don't know if y'all saw Shakur Stevenson called out, and I respect this. He called out Ryan Garcia, said, "What's up?" Because he said he called out Ryan.
Let me get a backdrop on that. Hey, let me get a backdrop on that. So what Shakur was doing, he actually didn't necessarily call him out last night when Ryan was going through his antics. When Ryan was going through his antics, they went on X or Twitter, whatever they call it now. And when Ryan was talking all that stuff, Shakur got on the feed too. And at first, Ryan didn't want to agree. If you go back and listen to the back and forth that they had directly, Ryan didn't want to agree. And so Shakur pretty much pulled up on him on the feed and was like, "Hey, if you beat Dev, will you fight me?" And at first, Ryan kind of stuttered. Then Ryan said, "All right, I will." And so that was Shakur spinning the block and saying, "Hey, bro, you agree?"
That's the same thing I just said.
You know what I mean? So
that's stand on it.
So at the end of the day, we gonna see.
I like it.
Hey, but to our complaints and our points years ago, this is what we get when we get the new age four horsemen fighting. You got to think about it. All the fights that happened between them, they actually been exciting. Whether it was Tank and Ryan, Haney and Ryan, like these fights so far have actually been really good. And I will say at this point, I don't know if Tio's being frozen out or if Tio's it doesn't have much interest, but it's about time for Tio to fight one of them. It's about that time.
Exactly. And I want to see.
Go ahead, Q.
I want to see Tio beat Haney. Well, you beat him. When Haney come back and I still want to see that fight because I'm not just gonna say Tio gonna beat Ryan. Beat Haney just because Ryan beat him. Nah.
Well, we have evidence of that because the Cambosis fight, Tio can't adjust.
Right. And I'll say this too,
that'll be a very interesting fight.
Y'all right about Tio. You're right about Tio, but what I will say right quick before we get past the Shakur thing, though, but I will say that while Shakur is bringing up Ryan's name, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know how much I take it seriously though, because I don't see Shakur going up to 144, 145. You feel me? If we're really talking 140. No, but what I'm saying though, we know Ryan is not. We know Ryan. So that's what I'm saying. Ryan's not going to 140. So the reality is that if you're Shakur, would you really at this point go up to 144, 145 to fight Ryan? I think Ryan would take that fight. But see, Ryan would take that fight because he would feel like he would come in ballooned up, same way he just did, and then he'd have the edge over Shakur. And we already know it's well documented when him talking about I got hit with something I didn't like. We know that's well documented.
Listen, but Shakur to me, I mean, I like Shakur over Haney. I like his defense. I like his offense. I like him over Haney. I like his discipline. I like his mindset.
Oh, I agree.
So that's true.
Listen, I like that. And Shakur, he not a little fella. You know what I'm saying? He growing into his. And honestly, I ain't gonna Shakur. What y'all don't give Shakur credit for is Shakur get stops. He gets stops. You know what I'm saying? Haney ain't stopped nobody.
I don't remember the last stop Shakur got though.
Think about the two most anticipated fights we had for Shakur. Well, we were like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Frampton,
not the Oscar Valdez fight.
Man, they could have stopped it. He smacked that boy up. They could have stopped it.
Hey, but Q, here's the only one
that got by. And look how he did him. But I'm talking about. Think about Jameer Herring. Shout out to Simplify Jameer Herring. Like I'm saying, he would wipe. Like he would stop. He would get stops. He don't have one. But here's what he will blister you to death. He will make you.
But here's what I'm saying though. But I will say this though. They got weight classes for a reason. And I do think you have to grow into the weight class. And so the reason why I say Shakur, but here's what I'm saying though, boy. I think with Shakur, I think he'll call for it, but he wouldn't do it right now because Shakur was just at 135. And so in a matter of a year, bruh, you're not gonna go from being at 135 to suddenly agreeing to fight Ryan Garcia at 144, 145. You're not gonna take that leap in that weight. Now, if you tell me 3-4 years
what made Manny Pacquiao a star?
Jumping the weight class.
Tell me.
I'll put it right now. I can make a bet. It's a Boxing Vibez TV bet. There's a Boxing Vibez TV bet. I'm telling you right now, Shakur and them are much wiser, and they're much more. The bet is. I'm gonna tell you right now. In the next immediate future, Shakur would not agree to a catch weight of 144, 145. I'm not saying that Shakur would not beat Ryan, but I'm saying he's not going from 135 to now with Ryan being the money man and holding all the negotiating power to where he can say, Shakur, I did say I'll fight you, bro. We did agree a month or two ago, but now guess what? I'm the money man. Nobody still doesn't know you. You in the last fight of a top rank deal about to fight a nobody that nobody even knows. So I hold all the cards. Would you really come up here right now and fight me at 144, 145? You're not going to do that right now. Now, if you say in about 2 years,
if they're not giving him any type of split where he can make no money, if they give him a dummy split, like you getting 10%, you know what I'm saying? But if he getting 30%. If he getting 30% of a bag from the bath salt from the bath salt golden boy, listen, he gonna take that because that'll be all his paydays.
I don't know, dog. I think Shakur too smart to do that move that quick.
I'm a burst this bubble.
Shakur is. I just think Shakur really believes in himself, and I know he done had a performance or so, that off night or whatever you want to call it. But I think Shakur, a hungry Shakur that got time. Ain't no last minute nothing. I already seen the antics. I already seen the plays. I already sitting back watching, licking his chops and seeing I do this in this situation. His IQ on another level. Now Ryan,
I'm gonna burst that bubble real quick. It ain't gonna happen because Ryan doesn't want to fight him, whether he agreed to it.
That's why it won't happen, and that's why it won't happen.
Ryan has already said. I think he was on the Breakfast Club actually promoting the Haney fight that. He doesn't really have any interest in fighting Shakur. Whether it's because the money or the style, it's not gonna happen. He don't want to fight. That's all the stuff, all the ancillary stuff could be true, but I know from hearing Ryan speak for himself, absent a Shakur talk reference to Shakur fighting him, he don't want to fight.
Let me piggyback off that and say. As we talked about in the last pod, Ryan Garcia he a hybrid between a boxer and a YouTuber. That's why he don't care about the belts. He care about the bag. You know what I'm saying? He don't care about the belts. He don't really care about being a champion like that, as far as what the belt say, you know what I'm saying? Because he done brought up he want to fight what my man name is. Did he talk
Oh, the
about
UFC fighter? The UFC fighter?
was it O'Malley, Sean O'Malley?
Yeah. That's what he
Was it
mentioned.
Sean O'Malley? He was talking about something fighting a
Mm-hmm.
UFC fighter and things like that. You know what I'm saying? He wants to. He a little bit of that Jake Paul juice. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really caught up in. He ain't trying to. I feel like he ain't trying to be the best boxer or a Hall of. I ain't saying. He's not just looking at it like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as just in the boxing, let me just get a pound for pound boxer. You know, he feel like he just did that, and he did. But I'm just saying I don't think he really. With Shakur Stevenson not being, why?
I don't know if y'all know this, and I've noticed all the fighters who approach a fight game like that get taken advantage of. Every fighter who thinks I want to be the best first, and doesn't think of the bad first, they get taken advantage of. Yeah. So I think, I think looking at that,
I respect that.
It's hard to fault Ryan, but yeah, I think you're absolutely right as far as him looking at the money side instead of being the best.
And that's something good and bad that Mayweather did to the game. You know, he made they all they think about is the bag and they think about the O. You know what I'm saying? But we miss it. You know, it just
no. But what I will say though, to your point though, Q, I do think though, this is just me after what I just witnessed from Ryan Garcia. I do, even though I feel like he knows that Shakur is skilled, I feel like Ryan feels in his heart. If any of those smaller dudes, right, who are naturally smaller than Ryan, if any of them are willing to come to 145, 144, I feel like you have the confidence to do it. Now, if it meant meeting them at 140, I think Ryan says no. And I think Ryan is at a point where if any of them down there are willing to come up to 144, 145, I actually think you would do it. So I don't think so. That's why I don't rule out that Ryan necessarily won't look to make it, because if he could call the shots, I actually think he would do that with Shakur. I personally think on my end, bro, I think Shakur is just so savvy though that I agree with you wholeheartedly, bro. I think Shakur is a bad boy and he's top pound for pound eventually. I just think that weight does matter. And I think Shakur is smart enough to know.
It definitely matters.
Yeah, so I just think he's smart enough to know that you don't make that significant jump like that unless you know you got Manny Pacquiao power. Unless you Nate out anyway, then or you're Tank Davis, okay, you could jump like that. But with Shakur, if he has any self-awareness, I don't believe he makes that leap like that right away. Not right away.
Because it can happen to him too. I love him.
Right. Right.
It can happen to him too, cause Ryan is very unpredictable. He's unpredictable. You don't know what he's gonna do. Like we were talking about him.
He fought he fought a fight in spurts. He fought I don't want to say it was erratic, but he definitely fought in spurts and flurries like you were talking about earlier. So it was very like. There was a point, I think everybody felt like this. There was a point after 4 rounds, you're like, oh, okay. And all
like you might have been getting tired or something.
Yeah. And then
like he might because even the commentator said that he was doing a bunch of movement, but it wasn't for nothing. Like he wasn't necessarily running, but he was a bunch of moving without punching. Like he was trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
There was a time they started booing. Yeah, there was a time when they started booing. So, at the end of it, man, I want to salute both guys because it's like,
no doubt,
this is what we were frustrated about years ago. We wanted to see these 4 young guns. We felt like there would be performances like this,
right?
And man, shout out because one thing we didn't mention, and I think I was texting y'all last night, the heart on Devin Haney, boy.
Man, yes, Lord.
He a beast.
That boy lying.
If he had the power to go with his chin, he'd be able to give us some crazy moments because he never broke discipline. He got up and did what he could do when he was compromised. And salute to him. My only fear is that he won't be the same. I've rarely seen a fighter get, because let's think about it now. he was barely on his feet the whole 7th round,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's fair to say that each time he went down, he was buzzed from a punch. From what I saw, I think he got away with
Mm-hmm.
only being called for one knockout. Then you think about the first round, he got buzzed. I'm talking about he was compromised 6 to 8 times during that fight and still receiving more punishment. And I just have a feeling that he won't be the same after performance like that. So many times we see great performances and fighters don't come back the same. So I do want to say shout out to him for being class personified from the beginning to the end of this promotion, and also in every way he carried out his business in every fight. So shout out to
No
Haney.
doubt.
I don't know if
Shout out
we'll
to
ever see
big shout
him
out.
at his top of his game like that. Shout out to Ryan Garcia for being crazy like a fox. They played that, and
A
JD brought
rabbit.
up, yeah.
It's a rabbit. There ain't no fight, boy. That is goofy, man. What's wrong with it? But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
I never been more entertained by a
yeah,
build up to a fight. I
yeah,
mean, Lord,
yeah.
that boy there.
And
And
never more
I'm gonna say one,
intrigued, right?
right. One more thing,
Yeah,
man. Can you think of anybody else? You know how we have people. You know how the saying is, man. I could lose. I ain't tripping, man. I ain't tripping. I could lose. I know I won't always win. But Lord, I don't want to lose to him. And that's Ryan. Like, bro,
The
like
Ryan
he's so
Garcia?
aggy. Like he's so corny and he's so he cool with you. I ain't gonna make it. Like I love Ryan Garcia, so I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way. Cause he just that unpredictable, off the chain. Like you don't know what this man here, boy.
yeah.
You know,
He got that YouTube flair
that boy
about him
is.
that's a little outside the boxing norms, that appeals to like the kids, because he willing to get out there and quote Jack Harlow and say silly stuff, and
Man,
you're like, and calling Devin Haney's dad a pimp, and it's like
we
that's cool.
got a lifetime worth of memes. We got a lifetime of
Yeah.
memes and sounds and sound bites that we could live forever off this one promotion, man. And if he's smart, he'll go ahead and copyright that stuff, man. Because man, listen, they're gonna be used forever. That
Hey,
boy,
bro, and the wild part is that, bro, it's just getting started. That's the crazy part. This
right?
is
Oh
just
yeah,
getting started. Where, bro, when I woke up
The
this
rabbit.
morning,
Hey, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the
got
gun on bad
yeah,
time.
right? Yeah, man,
bruh.
bro,
I
I
said
woke up
this.
this morning, and I'm like, man, welcome to the Ryan Garcia show, everybody. It has just
Yep.
begun. It is just
Hey,
begun, bro.
I said this to JD last night. This was his villain origin story, man.
No doubt.
from,
Yeah.
Right.
from
I'm
from
telling
the
you, like a
Tank
Marvel
fight
movie,
up
DC
into
Comics
this,
or whatever. However,
yeah,
yeah.
I think we just saw the villain origin story come to fruition, man. And I think it's not slowing down. I don't think we're gonna be. I think he's gonna be. He's definitely gonna fill the shoes of that Rolly left with skill and actual wins and knockouts. So
Right. And speaking of Rolly, well, speaking of that type of fighter that we who am I about to talk? Who am I about to bring? It ain't Rolly. It's somebody
oh,
else.
it ain't. I don't know who
AB,
That's
is it Broner?
no. But he
brother.
fighting AB. He fighting AB.
Oh,
May
Blair the
31st.
Flair, Blair
Blair
the
the Flair.
Flair, Blair the Flair.
Did you see him? He got the nerve to wake up looking like Ice-T back in Crush Groove. You know what I'm saying? For my old heads. He got the nerve to talk about everybody. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Everybody that lost your money, you bet on Devin Haney. You're going to win it all back on May 31st. Bet with Bladder Flair. Woo! Bet with Bladder Flair versus Adrian Broner. Tune in and put all your money on Bladder Flair. Like, bro, come on now. Who just spanked him? I
Hey,
can't remember. Who
Hey,
just
bro.
spanked him?
Speaking of AB and Blair the Flair, if you go check out Broner, what Broner said this morning. Now Broner is saying, "Hey, Dev, now y'all need me. What's up?" So now AB is ready to face off against
I was going to
Dev.
mention that. I was going to mention that.
Haney?
Broner's not off the table.
Broner said.
Not
I agree. I agree.
Broner said something to the effect other day when we were talking about the odds. He was like, man, I'm gonna tell you now. He was like, no, if I had, he said, all I got is $13, so I'm gonna have to go with I'm about to go with the Devin Haney. I'm gonna have to go with Ryan Garcia.
Oh, but the Ryan Garcia
I need a big flip. My $13. You tell me. If I had my old money now, I might go. You know what I'm saying, this way, but. I need a big flip. I'm gonna go. My $13. I said, "That boy is silly, man."
Hey, I can't lie to you. Hey, but I will say this, and this is not me always going against the grain. That my common complaint about AB is he don't like to get dirty. He also is not just a big knockout puncher. He's a flashy puncher. If Blair to Flair, Chin can hold up, and he try to get, and he stays on Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner might be fighting for his life in that fight. I know Blair to Flair is he's comical. He's in Rolly air right now.
I don't know.
But I don't have the most confidence in AB that he's gonna be able to, because that's the play. He don't get dirty. When it comes to exchange and combination, he'll look pretty and lose every time.
Hey, I tell you what though. But whoever wins that fight in an odd way, they probably become a viable opponent again. Whichever one of them comes out victorious.
Right.
I mean, so it might sound crazy right now, but we might end up seeing a Devin Haney versus AB bout. Talk about the build up for that one.
And I guarantee you, if Blair to Flair win, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ryan Garcia versus Blair to Flair. Do you know how crazy that promotion would be?
It's crazy because this is actually a fight that I think when Blair Flair came out, we was talking about him like, man, the build up. It probably Rolly also. That's why those names they synonymous to me. I think of all of them as like, entertaining and has talent and skill, but just ain't you know what I'm saying? Can't get right.
Can't put it all together. Yeah,
can't get right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Broner was the one that just really like, bro, you really, you had the keys to the city. You know what I'm saying? You had the keys to the city, bro. And
one more thing before we get out, bro. One more thing before we get it. Meanwhile, we talking about all this. We know Tank. Talk about Shakur. There's a pit bull lurking out there, man. Where do you think he lines up in all this?
He finna fight. He finna fight the one dude that, huh? He finna fight the dude
pit bull out there lurking.
No doubt. A terrier, not a bully. Pit bull, a terrier.
Hey.
You know what I mean? He might have rabies. He's dangerous.
Hey, and again, I gotta credit Golden Boy because we all remember this. Remember, at some particular point, it was supposed to be Ryan Garcia versus Isaac Cruz.
Boy.
And Oscar De La Hoya and them pulled the plug on that one. And again, now it's a scenario where, again, like I said before, I could actually see that fight happening if Isaac is willing to get that bag and take that deficit. I think Ryan would easily fight him. If Isaac wants that money and he's willing to go up to 144, 145, I think now we could get Isaac versus Ryan.
He'll do it.
Isaac, yeah, and Isaac will do it. Isaac will go get that bag, bro. And to be real with you, a lot of people sleep on how much Isaac Cruz has now kind of become the people's champ. He's become the people's champ, due to being that little pit bull and being up in everybody, bro. So I can see that happening now.
Can't nobody disrespect that man's name. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I hope all my Mexican brothers and sisters don't take no disrespect when I say that's a real Mexican. I ain't saying no disrespect to, far as who was born where and all of that. No, I'm just saying the mano, like the style of the way that, and I ain't even saying like
Mexican style of boxing.
We got great Mexicans that know how to stick and move, and that ain't mean you stand there and just. But he gonna leave it. He gonna leave it all.
He's 100% entertainment.
He gonna leave 100% entertainment. He ain't taking no shorts. Yeah. He coming. Yeah. So. Man, Eastside, man, he ranked.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, J Box, that's a good one. That's a good one because
that's a tough fight for anybody. I don't see nobody being able to just make him look like that's a tough fight for anybody. I think personally, in that 140 division,
and he's a 140-pound champ, and he got one of the straps at 140. Yeah,
and he about to fight the other guy that nobody really want to fight. What my man name is?
Is it Matias?
I know.
I just know.
It might be Matias.
Matias, yeah. So
I can't lie to you, man.
Yeah. He ready for everybody.
This 130, this 140 division instantly got. It went from boring old cross the pond Josh Taylor, no offense, Catterall controversy, till now it's exploded and it's
the dogs done grew up.
Yeah, flush with talent. Yeah, and so you're thinking about anybody.
Which on the side, they running it back. They're running it back too.
Yeah.
I said on a side note, they're running it back too.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Taylor has to. If Josh Taylor, if Josh Taylor would have kept winning, he wouldn't have touched Catterall ever again.
He needs to run that back. Yeah, he needs to, because he shouldn't, you know. But shout out to Fimo for that, for cleaning that up, man. You know, he led the way up there. He went up there and
and I'm gonna do a call out, man. I'm gonna do a call out, man. I mentioned this earlier. Hey, man, I'm tired of T.O., bro. You used to be one of my favorite horsemen, bro. You're gonna have to start getting in with some names, brother. We love, man. We love it over here at BVTV. We love when you stepped up and took out Lomachenko, took on the challenger. Everybody seemed to be walking away from. But nah, bro. You got to do something, baby. You got to do something.
Everybody listen. Everybody.
You got to do something, baby.
Hey. I got a question right quick. Not to say that, do y'all think Shakur and T.O., because I feel like they're kind of in the same spot over there with Bob Arum right now, do you think Shakur and T.O. can really land the massive fights right now if they stay with Top Rank?
No. Not unless they fight each other.
Nah.
You know Bob likes to keep it in house. Not unless they fight each other.
Because Isak, if I'm not mistaken, PBC, right, with Isak. Ryan's not coming down. So Ryan's not coming back down. And so you start to look at the landscape, and it's like, you already know Tank. Tank is PBC. So we're not going to get Tank versus T.O. We're not going to get Tank versus Shakur. So it's looking like slim pickings for the massive fights over there for them two.
Oh yeah. It and it's been like that for a few years now. Once we saw that Pacquiao stable era kind of dissipate, I think when Bud Crawford couldn't put them over the top and get the fights, and they really froze Arum out and Top Rank, I think that's when we finally saw the deterioration of Top Rank putting on pay-per-view bouts that everybody wants to see. I mean, they're attaching their name to Tyson Fury now to be the American side promoter. But in all honesty, man, I think those days of Top Rank putting on the big stars you want to see with a garbage undercard are over. You know, they were usually able to get away with those undercards by having some of the biggest stars and the biggest fights people wanted to see. But they don't have that guy, and they don't have that stable anymore where they can do something in-house and make everybody pay for view. So to your answer, no. To your question, no.
Hey, no, but you know what I just forgot? You just made me think about it as we talking about it, bro. And this I totally forgot. You know who really ends up being one of the losers in all this? Gervonta Tank Davis. And y'all probably wondering, like, how is Gervonta Tank Davis a loser in all this? Turkey Al-Sheikh had offered Gervonta at minimum to come over and fight, but Tank and PBC did not want to do it. So technically the fight we saw on Saturday, that really could have been Devin Haney versus Tank over in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, yeah.
But they turned the money down and didn't take it and allowed this to happen, bro. I know. That's why I say Tank got to be sitting there like, bruh, how, bruh, like, I mean, Tank got to be like.
Did you see his response? Did you see his response?
No, what he said.
Well, he said on thing I saw it on somebody retweeted on Twitter. He told Devin Haney, "This is what happened when you fight somebody your size. This is what happened when you fight somebody your size." I mean, check it though. And then also, he told Ryan Garcia, he said, "Man, pull up." He like, "Man, I guess he was in New York." He was like, "Man, pull up, man. The club." He called him bruh. pull up, bro. He like,
yeah,
club on me. He said the club on me. He said Colt 45 on me, and the cocaine, some crazy like that. You know what I mean? Colt 45 and the coke on me.
Hey, hey, bro. I'll say this though, right quick though, man. If Tank said that, bro, I can't lie. I don't want to hear that though. And the reason why I don't want to hear that is because when they released that leaked sparring footage, I'm sorry, Tank got to fight that man at 140. I don't want to hear because I don't know if y'all have seen this. But Leonard Ellerbe and PBC have been on a coordinated campaign. In every interview, go look at Leonard Ellerbe's interviews. He specifically keeps saying Tank Davis is a 135-pound fighter. Over and over. Tank Davis is a 135-pound fighter. So if there's one fighter at 140 who I need Tank to go up and fight, if you want to say he's staying at 135, is Devin Haney. Like, well, y'all put that sparring footage down
like 140,
that,
but he done already been at 140 and not you done been at the 140. And you don't knock people out. They don't knock people out. You don't know. He knocked out Mario Barrios that whoop you guys. That beat Pacquiao.
Right, exactly. Right. And so that's why when it comes to the Devin Haney at 140 thing, I don't want to hear Tank and PBC say that can't be made at 140. I still want to see Dev versus Tank at 140.
I'm gonna say this: he's the biggest loser monetarily in this. But if you think about the landscape, he's in a very, very good position.
Oh, he is. He's definitely
nobody's really going to press him. Nobody's going to press him about Devin Haney anymore. Right?
No,
we'll
that's
watch
a fact. Yeah.
We'll see it. But nobody's going to knock him for not fighting Devin Haney. And then nobody can really say anything about, we could talk about weight when it comes to Ryan Garcia, but then you can bring up the same thing in Devin Haney. And so at the same point in time where you're looking at Tank, and he missed out monetarily, and I agree with you, he missed out massively because I don't think there's anybody up here right now who thinks Tank wouldn't have eventually knocked out Haney. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I think we've thought since the matchup.
What's going to happen is, he going to rematch Pitbull Cruz.
I think that's why they're saying he's 135, so it doesn't happen.
Exactly, because Pitbull has the 140-pound strap.
Yeah, and that's stylistically a tough fight, and Pitbull is getting better. You know what I'm saying? And that's a tough fight.
Pitbull, I would say he does. He is going to be through, I'm telling you, man, you can see Mayweather's fingerprints on stuff. I think what they're going to do with Isak, I think they're going to let him keep fighting. Let him keep fighting in 140. He's going to be in some tough fights. And if that rematch does happen, it'll happen. It'll fill a void for Tank, and it'll happen 2-3 years down the line where we've already seen Cruz compromise in some sort of way. Now that's their calculation, I believe. But if Cruz stays on point and he stays upright and he keeps getting better and better, the drum beat
calling out Tank.
That drum beat is gonna get louder to see.
Keep winning and keep calling out Tank. Ain't no way to avoid it, and it ain't gonna be 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
If he beat this one guy that everybody's saying nobody want to fight, he gonna call Tank out. I'm sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He might even call. Well. Now Ryan Garcia, he gonna call Ryan Garcia out too. So
no, because what's gonna really happen is with Tank Davis is if they're gonna beat the drum that he's only at 135 in about a year or so, the only thing that the fans are gonna accept is Tank versus Shakur. If you not gonna fight Shakur Stevenson, then the fans are gonna demand that you get up in that 140-pound water. Because like y'all said, Isak's at 140 with a belt, T.O., all that. So all these other fighters are kind of passing by going up, but you got Tank staying at 135. The only way that Tank will keep getting a pass is if we end up getting Tank versus Shakur sometime in the near future.
Or if he's forced to, I think we'll get, before we get Cruz, before we get Shakur, call me crazy, but I think we'll get T.O. before that.
Tank versus T.O.?
I think we end up getting T.O. before that. Only because I would wager to say Tio, even though he is with Top Rank, that fight can be made if they see vulnerability in Tio. And I'm just being dead serious because you saw how they were able to make Crawford versus Porter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can be done. I think, given Tio's history, I think if the one guy that's going to be a big fight that I don't want to say forced to fight, but to keep up the momentum, I would say Tio would be the biggest candidate. How can I say this? With Haney there lurking, because we don't know how Haney's coming back, because Haney's not going to take on Tank come after that massive loss he just had. So we'd have to wait. I predict we won't see Haney back in the ring until next year sometime, maybe summer.
Hey, bro, and speaking of Tio, even before that, bro, I actually think we probably get Tio versus Isak in a unification bout at 140. Ooh. Because remember, Tio has a 140-pound strap. Isak has a 140-pound strap because when they just recently fought, he got that 140-pound strap. So now Isak has one. Tio has one. That's a unification bout, bro. How y'all see that one going? Because I think that could end up happening.
That's all I want to see. You know what? I'm glad you said that. That's
gonna go down, bro.
Oh, can you hear me? Q?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Okay, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. Just for action-wise, build up. I don't think there's a fight at 140 I want to see more. I want to see that one. I want to see that fight because I need Tio to stop bringing out garbage men. And I give him credit for Josh Taylor, but it's time for Tio to finally get back on the horse and really be that guy because he has so much talent. The question is up here, right? And so I think he's young enough. He is at the right time. Take care of business in his next fight. I need to see Isak Cruz versus Tio, man. I gotta see it. Gotta have it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a unification bout. It's gonna go down,
I
bro.
I didn't think about that. I forgot about that, bro. I gotta see that.
Yeah,
that's when
they both 40-pound straps, bro. Straight up, yeah. They both hold 140-pound straps.
We just lost Q.
Yeah. He might have to work, but he might hop back on. Yeah. But that is the next thing that I think might potentially happen. And the reason why I say it might happen is because when you look at somebody like Isak Cruz, so you have certain fighters who are affiliated with PBC, but they don't necessarily go by the advisement of Al Heyman or Mayweather, right? Some of those are, you got Isak Cruz, you got Sean Porter, when he went and fought Bud, you got Deontay Wilder, who was with Showtime and them for a while, and you notice Deontay on his own went and made the Fury fight, right? So you have those select fighters that are kind of connected to that PBC world, but they're still willing to go out and be their own man. And I think Isak will go face Tio, dog. I think he really wants to be champ, like undisputed at 140.
I love that fight. I actually love that fight. As far as fights that I want to see in that weight class the most, I think I actually want to see that fight because I want to see somebody relentless against Tio, just as much attitude, just as much power, just as much dog, and I want to see how Tio responds because when last seen, even when a guy like Sandor Martin or Kambosos, and I know a lot of it had to do with the movement. I want to see because Tio has an issue when the pressure's on. He's a one punch type of guy. And I think Isak Cruz will make him throw more than one punch at a time, and make him throw more than one punch at a time. And when he's not ready, you know what I'm saying? Like Tio throw a combination when it's safe, right? When he got you out and he got you. But I want to see this fight because I think Tio has it in him. Like I said, I've always been a Tio fan. It's starting to diminish a little bit just by some of his antics and lack of opponents. I was really happy to see him get back on the horse against Taylor, but I really want to see him fight a fighter that's going to apply pressure, that he can't just one shot and then throw combinations when it's convenient. I want to see him how to get in that water and have to fight about that, man. because I'm definitely I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't know what all we danced around all these fighters, but that matchup, I guess because I've seen Cruz is a 135 pounder, but he's fully immersed.
Nah, he 140. Yeah, he got the strap. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got that strap off Rolly with a spectacular performance. So I can't lie to you, man. That is on my wish list. That is tops on my wish list. I have to say for that division is seeing that Rolly and T.O. Just because I think we'll get a classic.
It would have to be it's a surefire can't miss bout because I think Isak Cruz and why he's kind of building up steam is kind of like the people's champ is because he is one of those fighters that I think it's a can't miss fight. Like, you got certain fighters in boxing that if you see them fight, you really don't know whether it's going to be an entertaining bout or not. But with Isak Cruz, like,
you know what you get.
It's 100% can't miss, which is why he's building up steam as a true people's champ in the sport, bro. But I think that's gonna be a good one, bro.
I really hope that's the fight that gets me. I mean, that fight I'm excited about. That, and for me personally, that is the first fight, with the exception of the Lomachenko fight, that I think T.O. would fight on. That for me is pay-per-view worthy. And then even the Lomachenko fight wasn't pay-per-view, and I think that was going on during the pandemic. But
that was regular ESPN.
Yeah, for me, this would be T.O.'s first real pay-per-view worthy fight, aside from the Lomachenko fight. And I think that's my issue with T.O. He doesn't really have a lot of pay-per-view worthy fights, if any, outside of that Lomachenko fight. So this is a matchup, man. I take my money. You know what I'm saying? That, just like when Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia was made and they were building up, take my money, man. Those are fights that I'm willing to pay for. So I'm hoping we get that. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, boy.
Hey, bro. So to throw a curveball, man, I gotta speak on Derrick James right quick. I got a question for you, man. So Derrick James, we know he was trainer of the year, right? And a lot of people started blasting him because his fighters started taking L's. But does this Ryan win? Does this put him back as the hot trainer in your opinion, bro? Because a lot of people kind of soured on him because you had the Spence situation, the Jermell situation. You had AJ come over here, train with them for like 1 or 2 fights. Then AJ went back to Ben Davison over in the UK because he didn't kind of want to be bopping back between UK and America. So, and then you hear the whole narrative of the Spence Derrick James breakup happen. And so all of a sudden, it went from Derrick James having a house full of champions, right? To now suddenly on an island, only Ryan Garcia, bro. And only Ryan Garcia. And now all of a sudden, it looked like he has the money man in boxing. While everybody else might be scattering, suddenly Derrick James is back in the driver's seat with arguably the top money man in America, at least, if you want to take Canelo out of the picture. The top money man in America, Derrick James got that.
I'm gonna say this about Derrick James. We've seen this similar rise and fall with other trainers. The one I'll talk about will be Freddie Roach, right? We saw when Pacquiao was at his peak, everybody was flocking to Freddie Roach.
Wild card, yeah.
At some point, I think everybody's going. Wild card was the it gym. Freddie Roach was the it trainer, and for good reason, because once Manny Pacquiao actually hooked up with Freddie Roach, that's when his career took off. I'll say this about Derrick James: you gotta have, and I think Primetime said this when he was at Colorado. You gotta have the dogs to go get you a championship. You gotta have the talent. Phil Jackson wasn't going to take a team full of, I don't know what, Bill Cartwrights to the championship. You know what I'm saying? You needed a Michael, you needed a Scotty. So sometimes the losses they just happen like that. When it comes to Charlo, he stepped up against Canelo, had a just terrible performance. Then you look at Spence, from what everybody's saying, had a terrible performance. And so those things happen. Boxing is not one of those sports where you can scheme talent and cover up deficiencies. It's man on man, woman on woman, what you got, and at any point in time, it could all be over in an instant. You could have the perfect game plan, fighter make a misstep, get clipped, he's compromised for the rest of the fight. So when it comes to Derek James, I'm happy for him. I'm happy to see him back uh, um, in the winners column with a fighter of Ryan's caliber, because he might have taken too much heat for some of the recent losses. I will say, from what I hear, that he should have really considered stopping the fight with Errol Spencer Crawford. I know that was a question brought up, and I don't think he had a good enough answer, in my opinion. But no, I'm happy for Derek James. I don't think anybody ever believed he wasn't a competent trainer. He had a string of bad luck, and honestly, he had a string of fights where the opposing fighter was the better fighter. There's no way around it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think what people were looking at, maybe the lopsided in the performances, but lopsided nature of the performance. But at the end with Derek James, I think a smart fighter would look at him and know he could teach him something, whether it's, AJ coming over for a short period of time or Ryan going over there and choosing him. I think it was done on purpose with intention. And for the life of me, I don't think that shoulder roll was not planned. I think they practiced that. Yeah. I think they practiced that because we didn't see Ryan, to your point, we didn't see Ryan pulling straight back anymore.
Yeah. I think 100% this puts Derek James back in a good spot. I will say, man, I went back and I watched Bud Spencer. I was telling you, bro, I went back and I watched it after a few times. And I can't lie, that is a little bit of a stain on Derek James, in my estimation, is I do feel like he should have saved Errol Spence in that fight. In that fight, when you go back and rewatch the beating that he was taking, you had to save, I don't care what conversation y'all had, you had to save Spence from himself in that fight to fight another day. So I think that was part of the knock, and then the fallout. But I think Derek James is, to be real with you, I think they're all pleasantly surprised. They may not be surprised that Ryan won, but I think in the fashion that he won. I think because even if you look at the demeanor of a Derek James prior and Oscar De La Hoya prior, so you look at their reaction afterwards, I think even they were like, dog, I thought we could win, but boy, I ain't know we was going to wipe the floor with Devin Haney like this. I ain't know we was going to mop them all over the place like this. So I think he's pleasantly surprised, but I am happy for him too, because nobody ever likes to see a split up between trainer and fighter. And when you know the backstory of how long he has trained Errol Spence Jr., you hope that they can make amends. But you don't like to see somebody be with somebody from so young as a kid all the way up to the top of the sport and break up like that. So I am happy for him in that regard to have another fighter. If it is over with him and Spence, I'm happy for him to have another top fighter in his stable, at least money-wise. He got a top dog in his stable now.
Well, and again, betting odds are betting odds, and we all assume Tank is going to beat, win his next fight. But he's also in Frank Martin's corner.
In fact, yeah, that's true.
So I mean, he has a chance to do the impossible and pull off back-to-back upsets. Although,
bro, if he do that, he traded a year again. If Frank Martin were to upset, even though the odds are long, we know the odds are pretty long. But that would be after the Garcia victory last night, and then if Frank Martin somehow upsets Tank, then I think he would be spinning the block on being a trainer of the year at that point.
Right. And like I said, we're just talking in hypotheticals, but I really believe Ryan Garcia could beat Devin Haney. I am not so much convinced. I wouldn't put no money on this.
Talking about Frank Martin? Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying the odds of Frank Martin, that should be that wide. That's probably for real.
Right. Now, LaShawn McCoy, I don't have your type of money. But this is the fight you would put $250K on, not Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney.
It's man LaShawn McCoy.
So I can clarify. You put $250 on Javante. Yeah. So
yeah,
you heard it here first, man.
yeah.
You should have picked up the phone and called me.
I told you, bro, they need to take McCoy. He needs a prop betting class. He needs hands down a prop betting class so he can understand what are the wise odds to take. That was crazy.
But see, this is reason why people got to tune in, man. So when we predict fight, man, we know our stuff, man. I said multiple knockdowns. Look, see, LaShawn, if you'd have been listening, granted, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so you might not have been too interested in listening. But if you'd have just set that aside, you'd have tuned in to BVTV, you would have heard me say multiple knockdowns, Ryan by decision. Boy, you'd have made a couple million, maybe. If you'd have put that.
Who you telling? Oh, he might have made more than that with 250K.
Yeah. So Sean McCoy and everybody out there, man, y'all tune in, man. Get some good insights, man. Y'all make y'all own bets at your own free will, but come get some insight, man, for some real boxing heads, man.
Yeah, for real, man.
With that being said, money in your pocket.
Right. And with that being said, man, this is Boxing Vibez TV. This is JD and J Box. All right, we're gonna holler at y'all next time, man. Please hit that subscribe button, that notification bell for our drops that come at y'all daily. Till next time, deuces.